Welcome to the regular meeting and public hearing this Wednesday, April 1st, 2026. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. There's this cable. And as a reminder, this is a public meeting being video and audio recorded for cable broadcast. And to confirm, our next meeting will be here Wednesday, April 15th, 2026, same time, 7 p.m. First item on the agenda is Tyler Gooch and Brad Staples, 553 and 543 Center Street, map 13, lots 42, 42A, special permit and site plan review. Can somebody make a motion to open the public hearing?
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. So after the last conversation,
No.
nope. After the last meeting, we continued the public hearing to tonight, just to wrap up the final peer review. And since then, Weston and Sampson was able to do their part quick, circled it around, and I went through it as well. And as far as I can tell, you guys have fulfilled all the requirements for this board. There were still some conditions of approval that will just go in the decision language, but that's not going to hold anything up this evening. Does anyone on the board have any other questions for the applicant relative to everything you've seen and the latest update from Weston and Sampson and my inputs?
No questions. It's
Are
all more stuff.
there any further statements or comments from the applicant or the engineer?
Said whatever you want to say, so that's perfect.
Okay. Do we have any additional public input on this, for this topic on 553 and 554? 553 and 543 Center Street. Might be here for the other topic. Okay, hearing none. I'd like to go ahead and make a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll make that
Project.
motion.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, it's 4 ayes. And at this time, I'd like to hear a motion to approve the application for Tyler Gooch and Brad Staples at 553 and 543 Center Street.
I'll make that motion again.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Project approved.
Is that with conditions too?
Oh, yes, I was about,
Yes.
I thought you were about to have discussion, and then suddenly we went, but you were approving it, so.
Okay, let's do that again, shall we? Make a motion to approve the application for 553 and 543. No, this is going to take another 20 minutes, folks, sorry. Center Street with the following conditions. I might as well read them out because we have them. Is per section 3435, granting special permit hereunder, the planning board shall require a performance bond to ensure compliance with the requirements of this section. That's condition number one. Condition number two, construction will comply with time and construction restrictions to limited noise. Project will be subject to orders of conditions which requires a construction period, pollution control, which addresses dust control. And next is from section 3640, restoration. 3650, which is the bond. And that was a condition that Weston and Sampson recommended that we include a performance bond as a condition of the approval. And all the way down the bottom, number 4 was per Massachusetts Stormwater Handbook Standard 10. The engineer has included a copy of the Standard 10 statement unsigned in the stormwater report. Is this something we can take this evening? Okay. In that case, that condition is stricken. So we have the 3 conditions previously read. So would somebody like to can somebody make a motion to approve this application?
Discussion?
Yeah, we can make a motion and end discussion on this.
Okay. You need the motion to have discussion?
Normally, yes.
I make a motion, we have discussion,
Yes.
thank you. So I think the only thing that had brought up,
Make a motion to
Oh.
approve, and then it's open for discussion.
Will you discuss before you approve, no?
Yes.
You make a yes, make a motion to approve.
Yeah.
And then you guys just
Discuss.
deliberate.
Oh,
Deliberate,
Okay.
and then once we're done deliberating, then we can take it to
okay.
Take the vote.
This is getting pretty.
a, by all means, would somebody
Okay.
like to make that motion?
I'll make a motion
Motion made,
to approve.
any discussion?
Yes,
Excellent, go for it.
just one point, I don't know that it had been brought up early on, I don't think we really finalized hours of operation. It's mixed use, but it is in a residential neighborhood, so I just think it should be spelled out, whatever we agree upon for what that should be.
Yep, so, on our normal boilerplate, conditions, on any decision, we normally have hours of operation. Do we have to explicitly state those, or is that part
Our
of?
standard is 6 to 6.
Okay, so that's going to be part of the decision regardless of whether or not we state it out loud here, so it will be in the language in the decision.
Correct. Unless the board determines a facility needs those hours different, the standard is 6 to 6.
Standard is 6 to 6.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's,
No
it's,
Sundays,
it's in the-
Monday through Saturday, no Sundays.
Mhm.
And then they follow the holidays as well.
Even on Saturdays, it's still, yeah?
They can work on Saturdays, yes.
And these are operating hours, not construction you're talking about.
that's construction.
Construction,
I was talking about operating hours.
the actual operating
Operating
hours.
hours, given that it's mixed use, but in a residential neighborhood, do we have any conditions around operating hours?
That's set by the board, excuse me.
And that was
So
the
if
topic I
you
wanted.
might want to deliberate on that.
Oh, I got you now. Okay, I was under the impression you were talking about during the construction
Yeah,
phase.
no.
Okay. Okay.
I think you had talked about, given the nature of the
Yeah, if it's
users,
contractors,
often
it's
they
gonna
want to get
be-
in at like 5 AM. but
Correct.
It is a residential neighborhood, so that's going to be a little bit early. So I'm not sure that I have a proposal. I just wanted to bring it up and spell it out,
Okay,
whatever we agree upon. So
well, what's the applicant have in mind?
We have no idea.
Okay, all right.
We don't know yet.
He lives there and we own all the properties.
I gotta
on
get
both
a
sides,
sign
so
shop,
we
he
don't-
might take a bag, and he runs out and puts signs up and stuff.
And that wouldn't be 5 in the morning.
I don't know what, we probably standard business hours like any other working person, between 6 and 8 to take off and start work.
I'm
We-
looking-
we
I'm
could-
looking to.
I think Saturdays would probably be better to do like 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the morning.
I can
instead of
understand
6.
that,
Yeah.
I think that would be fair.
And 6 AM weekdays,
No, 7 AM on
7.
On Saturday.
on Saturdays, but on Monday through Friday?
I think 6 is probably,
AM.
everybody has to wake up
Yeah.
early.
It's sounding a lot like this, the same hours as construction,
Yes.
except that I don't think 6 PM is reasonable to
I've gone out
say
and
they have to wrap up.
Sure, time I gotta be there.
We've never done that before, done this before, so this is all
Yeah,
brand new for us, having a condition.
I would say something like weekdays, 6 AM to 8 PM, hours of operation.
8 PM? Okay, fine by me.
Okay, and then,
I think that's late, but
well, I mean, we could move it a little bit earlier, if it, based on.
I think 6 to 6 is a good idea.
6 to 6, and then what? Would you say 7 on?
7 on Saturdays to 5?
7
Right,
to
but this,
5?
this is operation, this is not construction. So if they're gonna be coming and going and putting working vehicles back in the evening, you think 6 PM is reasonable?
On
I
Saturday?
don't know, no,
You know what, it's,
Well,
you're,
that's what I was gonna say,
You know what I
if
mean?
it's a contractor,
They're working in
getting
Boston,
themselves and going to Boston and get stuck in traffic.
leaving at noon to get home to put your stuff away.
yeah, that's.
keep it 6 to 6 and that's it.
Yeah,
That's the way I feel. All of it, all the way through.
Okay, so it's the same.
You guys okay with
I
that?
mean,
What's the town bylaw?
6 to 6.
No, that's.
That's for construction though.
Construction, what is that?
There is no bylaw for car working, I looked it up, there is absolutely none, so.
And this is
I don't know how you're gonna do that.
This is unprecedented. So I don't,
Under town bylaw, there is absolutely none. So it should
I'm
be
just
standard
wondering.
business hours.
It's only a suggestion.
Yeah, I would say it's a little bit later in the evening, like,
that's why I was asking you.
Yeah, 6 in the morning I think sounds great, but the evening, I was thinking more like 7, just because
That's
we
why.
don't even know who's gonna
That's
be
why I
there.
think 8 PM is reasonable.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
8 is very reasonable.
Okay, so let's say 6 AM to 8 PM every day.
Which it could end up being 5 or 6, but that
We
one
did
time
those
that it's 8, I don't wanna like.
So
get
is that
fined.
Saturday?
Saturday as well, yeah.
Who's gonna police it?
Right. I don't see any neighbors on here.
You own a lot of the land all around it, but
We
most
got all
of
the
the butters.
butters.
But that makes sense, because it's mixed use, we want to make sure that, you know,
Right.
Yeah.
if the property turns over, it makes sense for all the people who are living around it.
It's fine with me. I've been that guy coming home from Boston, so I know what that
Yeah, me
is.
too,
Yeah.
so do I. I mean, I get home at 6, 7 o'clock at night some days. You
My husband's at home
know,
all the
so
time.
Okay,
okay, so
Good.
with the.
remember that.
Good to go.
It's us, you know, coming
Yeah.
down, so.
Yeah.
okay. So we have to revote with the additional condition? Or have an additional motion? Somebody want to make a motion? I guess before we take it, again, are there any other discussions on this, anything we think, any other restrictions that we're concerned with? Before we move forward?
None here.
Yeah, I think, I couldn't tell if somebody else connected there. There is a third person that connected, or a second person. All right, in that case, can somebody please make a motion to approve the application for 553 and 543 Center Street with the aforementioned conditions, with the additional condition for hours of operation for 6 AM to 8 PM, Monday
So-
through Saturday.
So move.
Second,
And on Sunday,
You want to add Sunday as well?
well, some hours on Sunday, not, doesn't have to be same.
We could just keep it the same.
Keep it
Okay,
the same, yeah.
so hours of 6 AM to 8 PM, 7 days a week.
Okay.
Somebody make that motion?
So move.
second,
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, appreciate it.
We got there eventually.
Thank you.
We got there.
Thank you, Dan, thanks for bringing that up.
Thank you, too. You guys have a good
Good
night.
night. All right,
Thank you, guys. Have a good
thank you, good night, appreciate it. All right, next item on the agenda is a public hearing for Antonio R.P. Roderick, 728 Hart Street, map 20, lot 100-1, definitive subdivision application. And before we start, got the right page numbers in here, stand by. That's what right behind it now. We did. Moment, please.
Move you just on the other side because you're standing right on the camera for the Zoom.
Yeah.
Ah, here it is. All right.
One of them, feel free.
Okay, Town of Dayton, notice of public hearing in accordance with the provisions of Mass General Law, Chapter 41, Section 81T. The Dayton Planning Board will conduct a public hearing on Wednesday, April 1st, 2026 at 7 PM in Town Hall 979 Somerset Avenue, lower level Dayton, on the petition of Antonio P. Roderick for the approval of a two-lot subdivision, definitive subdivision entitled Hart's Memory, located at 728 Hart Street, Dayton, shown as Dayton Assessor's Map 20, Lot 100, Tac 1. The proposed two-lot subdivision is located in a residential agricultural district. Copies of the application and plan may be requested by email at keasterday@dayton-mass.gov or by visiting the Town of Dayton's Planning Board's website. Any person wishing to be heard on the above application should appear at the time and place designated for the public hearing. At this time, can somebody please make a motion to open
I'll make that.
open the public hearing for the 728 Hart Street, and Tony P. Roderick, definitive subdivision application. Motion made,
Second.
motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Excellent, all right, good evening.
Okay, good evening. Tom Morris with Zenith Consulting Engineers. So just to show you quickly what is existing, there's an old barn that's been rehabbed since everything's taken place here. But this was an original structure to the property. And 3 houses have been formed out and constructed. Now we have a 45-foot strip here. That's going to be the access to the 2-lot subdivision in the field. So there is an existing gravel driveway coming off Hart Street, back behind the 2 houses, it ends right about here. We're proposing to extend that gravel through a new right-of-way to create frontage for the 2 lots. And then each of these houses will have a paved driveway in front of the garage. We're collecting everything from the existing and proposed gravel area and quite a bit of area from the lawns, driveways, roofs of a couple of the Form A lots as well. Putting it into a constructed stormwater wetland, which is a drainage basin designed with quite a bit of nutrient removal from the runoff. Very high standard of treatment. This has been, it will be reviewed, obviously, by Weston and Sampson for stormwater. But it's been designed to meet state and local requirements. It exceeds most of them, actually, showing that the rate and treatment of the water pre-development is not exceeded in the post-development. One lot, this lot here on the south side will have, or it's really the east side, will have town water. That's why this is a smaller lot. And then to meet zoning, we have a larger lot here for a house that will use an existing well that's back in the wetlands, which needs to be doing that water service. And then obviously the work for the houses and everything in the buffer is going to require a notice of intent. We have an erosion control plan set up. Show a construction entrance and silk fence, silk sock that will go around the property to protect the wetlands and the street. We have a T turnaround shown here that a fire truck can turn around within the right of way. The basin will have a permanent pool of water, so we've proposed a fence, which is something that we've done in town for Don Eamon's property. It's the same type of basin, same kind of construction specifications and the fence around.
Is that better?
And that's essentially it. I'd love to answer any questions you have.
Okay. All right. I know I did an initial review of this myself, and I didn't have any outstanding questions. So it's just the 2 lots, and you said one of those is going to be on town water?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yeah, there's an
not
existing.
the one on the
third
east.
Out on the street there.
Okay. Is there a reason why both can't be on that, or is it just you don't have the run back there right now?
Yeah, it's just there's only one existing tap off the
Okay.
main,
Got it. Okay.
and we have the existing well back there.
Okay.
We wanted to be able to use that.
So you're divided, split the difference
The
there.
town is allowing it to be to tie in?
Well, we still have to go through the NOI process to get that approved, because the water service will be run through the wetland.
Yeah, we're not talking about the well, we're talking about the tie into town water.
Oh,
It's a water moratorium.
yeah, I mean, the tap is already there. There's already a service tied in.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha.
How long of a road is that?
It is 384, if you go all the way to the end of the cul-de-sac. So it's actually, so we have, I believe there's 20 waivers requested here. That's one of them. There's a minimum length for a dead end road in Dayton, which I think Dayton's the only town I've ever seen that in. And it's 400 feet, and we're a little bit under that. And if we extended it to be 400 feet, it would make construction on the lot a lot more difficult because it would push that house back. But several of the waivers requested are based on the drainage requirements for a basin, the construction of the basin. And they all kind of go against just the specific type of basin that we're proposing.
And I know you said the field is mostly cleared, but what do you think is do you think the total land disturbance is gonna be greater than an acre?
I believe it's not.
It's not. Okay.
But there's no clearing that's happening. All of the
Right.
construction is in the cleared field.
No, just if you exceed an acre, you'll have to get a stormwater permit from the stormwater committee, but if you're under that, then it's just
Overall, it's gonna be over 1 acre.
disturbed land.
Right.
It would be over an acre.
I don't think it is, but I'd have to double check.
Okay.
For both lots, it's not?
No, yeah. Because this lot is only, I think 30,000 feet is what's required,
35?
35. And I mean, we're only touching half of that. So I mean, it's probably really close, but I believe it was under.
Okay, just something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
I mean, we have stormwater oversight here, but if it exceeds an acre, you're gonna have to talk to the stormwater committee as well. They have to do the inquiry.
Yeah, so just to speak to that, with Ian's property, we were over an acre with that. He had done 2 identical buildings, separate filings.
Yeah.
The lower one, we went through a process where we had to go to the stormwater committee and they approved it.
Mhm.
And we kind of, through the process, the town determined that they weren't a permitting board. They could have comment, like they'd get a copy of the site plan and they can comment on it. They're more of an oversight, and if there's something goes wrong after, like during construction or after construction, they would step in.
It depends upon how it affects the town's stormwater system and drainage. So they do actually at a state and even federal level do have a permitting authority.
Mhm.
You'd have to talk to that board. It sounds like you may be under it anyway, but there may be some trigger that you just want to stay aware of that
Sure.
doesn't trigger a review by them as well, so.
And I know they use Weston and Sampson as
They
well,
do,
so it
yeah.
would be the same review.
Yeah,
Can I just add a comment to
Sure.
that? So when we do the application process, though, when we receive an application and they know by the way that they're gonna be disturbing more than an acre, the authority to issue the stormwater permit depends on the zoning of the property. So residential, agricultural, that would be the Conservation Commission. If it's industrial or business, it's under the planning board, is the issuing authority. So it would be part of this permit.
there is a state and federal permit that can be required if you hit the right triggers
Yep,
that only the stormwater committee can issue.
right,
I just want to make them aware of it, that's all. I'm not saying
So
it.
the
Yeah.
federal is the NIPD's permit,
Yeah,
and that's completely separate from the town. They don't
yes,
have any.
no, right, but.
Yeah.
That's fine, I just bringing it up.
Yeah.
Just to make you aware and sensitive to it, that's all.
And don't blame us afterwards.
Okay, any other questions, Joe?
No?
Yeah? Chris?
I mean, we're not voting to approve this today, are we?
Yeah, it still has to go up to.
Not that I'm aware of.
So
We're at the situation where this is the initial presentation. Weston and Sampson still has to go through the application, provide their engineering report to us. And then we go through it. So that whole process was started as of yesterday. So this is just the initial presentation.
Yeah, no questions at this point.
So I don't have any questions, but I do have some things I want to read in the record that we got from other departments here. One was, you've already mentioned the entanglements with the Conservation Commission. And so there's an email from Lisa Caledonia that came this afternoon. So good afternoon, Carrie. A portion of this work does fall within the Conservation Commission's jurisdiction and requires the Commission's approval. It should be noted, the Conservation Commission has yet to receive a notice of intent application for this project. Thank you, Lisa. So you are aware of that anyway.
Yeah, and
I mentioned that earlier.
what we like to do usually is get our first engineering review out of the way
Okay.
before we go to conservation, just so there's no major changes
Mhm.
beyond that point.
Understand, yeah, it's a good idea. We should write that down. It's almost like we should have a flow chart. All right, other item here from the health agent, Elizabeth Marrera, is that how you say her name? It's very fancy script, it's hard to read. Actually, this was an email to Elizabeth from Jerry Bernard.
Yes.
There it is. So he perked lots 4 and 5. These are the two that you're adding here, right?
Yes.
Last year with Zenith for Tony Rodricks, perk rates were fine as long as they meet Dayton zoning requirements, and it looks like they did. And get the thumbs up in the conservation, in parentheses, they should. We will review the septic system designs when they get submitted. And I think there was also something from the fire chief, yes? Sewer? Oh, there it is, Diana Curtis.
Yeah.
Department manager, she's the department manager with the Dayton Sewer Department. Hi, Carrie, there is no public sewer in this area. I mean, it's important, it's just
Yes.
very to the point. Those are all the only items I think we had, so I think I'm getting this mixed up with another application with, okay. All right, and so at this time, if there's no other questions from the members of the board, I'd like to open it up to any public comment on this project. We'd start off with folks in the room. If you're gonna make a comment on the project, I ask you to step up to the location where there might be a microphone, but there isn't one. Move the podium back over if you can state your name and address, and only direct all your questions towards us, and we can interact with the applicant if necessary. Anybody in the room at the time that would like to step up?
No,
Sir?
I just have a general question, it's nothing.
Okay,
Step up.
oh, we can hear you fine. Just the name and address, please. Please state your name and address, sir.
Oh, Alfred Farrell, 734
Thank you.
Hot Street.
Thank you.
Just to add, the driveway in between his and mine, that's not gonna be any wider, it's just gonna, the two fences are just gonna stay there. Okay, simple question, that's all.
Anything else, sir?
No, that's it for me.
Thank you very much. On the phone, we had two people, somebody dropped off iPhone 2. Are you here to comment on this project? Nothing heard, okay. All right, so no additional public comment at this point, so do you have any questions for us as we move forward here?
I guess the only thing would be, I don't know if you guys have reviewed the waiver requests.
I did see the list, and I wanted to, nothing shocked me.
Okay.
But I want to wait for Weston and Sampson to go through that, so I can make better informed comments on how we want to move forward with those.
Right.
I know we have them on the list here. I did see you said there's about 20 of them.
Yeah, they're on the cover sheet.
They're on the cover sheet.
All listed on there. So I just didn't know if anyone had any concerns about any of the waiver requests.
We take a peek here real quick, just.
Obviously, the drainage ones are more Weston and Sampson's field.
Right, yeah, there was a list of things specifically for that stormwater basin. Yeah, some of them are drawing related. the datum. Waiver for the requirement for an engineer's estimate of materials. That's number 2. Number 3, requirement for proposed right-of-way to be rounded or cut back. I would imagine that's probably gonna get, number 3 is probably not gonna fly. To waive the requirement for the proposed right-of-way to be rounded or cut back, provide for curb radius or not less than 25 feet. I don't know if that one might be an issue. Number 4, 4251, allow a dead-end street that is less than 400 feet long. So I want to look into that. Like, why do we have a minimum? I made a note to myself here, see why we have that. We're always making tweaks, so I want to see if there's a reason. There's got to be a historical reason for that, so I want to make sure that makes sense. So no, I don't see any concerns there. I'm not giving you the okay now. I'm just giving you the feeling as we look through these to see if there's any gotchas. Yep. Number 5, 4253, unconventional turnaround. No issues. 4261, roadway with a center line that does not coincide with the right-of-way center line. I think that
That's
might.
just because the existing driveway is offset from the property line center line.
Got it. Okay. All right. Yeah. So that's just how the thing is laid out. 4268 is number 7. Allow gravel surface. Letter from the fire chief indicates the proposed roadway turnaround are acceptable for emergency vehicle access. I thought I saw an email from the fire chief on that.
Yeah, I think it was a while ago.
It was a while ago. It was a couple months ago.
Sorry, I'll make sure it's.
Because I remember seeing something specifically about the gravel surface, but especially if it's.
We asked him about that and the shape of the turnaround.
Okay, so if he's on board with it, then we're gonna defer to him, because he's got to get his vehicle in there, apparatus. 4271, 4-foot shoulders, less than 4-foot shoulders. Existing driveway is abutted by a split rail fencing and a shallow swale, or by 2 feet portion of the edge of a proposed driveway. Why is that? Why is it necessary?
It's just-
Number 8.
Yeah, it's just where the existing gravel and where the existing fence are. There's not a full 4-foot shoulder there.
Got it. Okay, less than 4. I got it now. Okay, because of the buffer. Right, number 9, almost there. And these are the drainage basin items, so I'm going to defer to Weston and Sampson on that. So
Yeah, there's
Number
probably
9,
6 or 7.
number 10 is a drainage basin item. Number 11, same thing. 12, same thing. 13, basin. 14, basin. 15 is another basin item. 16 is another basin. Allow 3-to-1 interior slope in the basin. 6-to-1 is required. I'm curious how they're going to come back with that one, because that may be a problem. But you're doing that because of limited space?
Yeah, and the 3-to-1 is standard construction, and these are all the same. Obviously, it's a different project, so I understand that doesn't mean we get it here.
Yep.
But these are all the same things that were granted for Eamon's property.
Okay. Waive the requirement for a sidewalk along the proposed street. Have to think about that one. Wait, the next one, number 18, requirement for street trees. That's going to be a tree warden question. So Mr. Ferry will have to chime in on that one. 19 is for curbing along the road, waiving that requirement. And 20 is requirement for iron rods at 2 major rear corners. I know for a fact we've denied requests for waiving number 20.
Yeah, and we can make it happen
Okay.
if it's required, but I just asked for that because most of the rear corners for these lots are way back in the wetland.
Okay.
So I don't think anyone would see if it's for the homeowner's purpose of being able to see where their property is, they'll probably never see them.
Got it. Okay. All right. So we can discuss that. Good. All right. All right. So I think we're good for now, but we're gonna go ahead and continue this. When do we think we can fit this? I don't think we can do this in 2 weeks from today. On the 15th.
Well, Weston and
Sampson needs time.
Started their review yesterday.
Okay.
So the question would be, I think, 2 weeks, they're usually around the 2-week mark.
Yeah, it depends.
So
when
if they
got
do
us.
2 weeks, if we do continue to 2 weeks, you won't have ample time to respond. So the question is, do you wanna
Make it 6 May.
Yeah.
6 May?
That probably makes more sense.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, we do have our bylaw, public hearing that night too.
Right, yeah.
Because you usually.
Yeah, if we need, we can rent out a hall.
But, yeah. We can what?
We can rent out a hall.
Do that.
Yeah, no problem. Nobody comes to those.
No.
It's a pay-per-view event, you gotta let the people in.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go for May 6th. So, somebody make a motion to continue this public hearing to Wednesday, May 6th.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you. See you May 6th.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, I'll be on the text, see how Mikey makes out.
Yeah, good deal, yeah.
Yeah,
So
make
what do you
sure-
want?
Yeah, make sure you bring up all those.
Thank you, gentlemen. Have a good night. All right, next item on the agenda, it's me on the chopping block. 2026 is to review, act, and discuss the 2026, 2027 Serped Commission member appointment. Putting my name in the hat to represent the planning board and the Board of Selectmen for another calendar year. So if you guys are agreeable to that,
Absolutely. I am.
make a motion to appoint me as the commission member on behalf of the planning board.
I'll make that.
I will second.
I don't know if I accept the nomination.
If we voted, that's a fact, it is what it is,
You get appointed, you don't get to
You
choose.
put your name on the hat, so there you go.
No, he says no.
Yeah, too late now. Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's 3 ayes. I guess I can say I can vote for myself. That's 4 ayes. Thank you, and I look forward to serving for another year. All right.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda and is the approval of the meeting minutes from March 18th, 2026. Can somebody please make that motion?
I'll make it.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. And Carrie, do we have any further correspondence?
Nope.
And any other input? iPhone number 2, did you at this time want the floor for any comments or any questions since you joined the Zoom meeting? Or is that Woody and we don't know it's Woody?
We don't know.
I'm not sure who that is. Okay. All right, hearing no further public input, can somebody please make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Good night, Cable.